Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea Halko, and I work for the Pretendville Public Library as a reference librarian. We'll be talking about the immigrant information behavior when it comes to searching for information and how these folks use that information to better their immigration experience. Just to give you all a brief background, Pretendville Public Library is located in Pretendville, as one might imagine, in Make-Believe County, Ohio. We serve about 33,000 people here in our town, as well as the surrounding communities. Anyone can come to our library, and anyone who has an Ohio ID can have a library card. But again, anyone that can get to our library can absolutely use our services with or without a library card. We're considered a sanctuary county, which sanctuary jurisdictions are typically more attractive for potential immigrants because these jurisdictions tend to enjoy more resources for those who are interested in immigrating. So that's why I feel like it's an important topic for us to talk about today when it comes to immigrant behavior, because we have a higher population than we might imagine here in our area that we can absolutely do a better job of servicing. No matter what country a person comes from, accessing information is vital to the immigration and integration process. The immigrant experience may vary from population to population, but searching for that information is something that's consistent across all populations, all across the world when it comes to moving from one place to another. Um, what are the quality of the information, however, when it's accessed and or the sheer amount of it? These questions are ones that people immigrating all over the world encounter, and it often leads to informational dead ends and burnouts. In the past 30 years, the advent of the internet and having access to the internet has had an enormous impact on the immigrant experience. If a person can use the internet, they will. And Korean immigrants in particular seem to have it down when it comes to accessing the internet. The vast majority of folks that immigrate from Korea to the United States have a smartphone. And of those that have a smartphone, 94% will go on the internet every day. However, access doesn't equal quality. And the language barriers will still be there as far as how to find what they need. Um, Key issues are lost in translation. Relevant keywords to use in internet searches are unknown and result in ultimately using time and money on hiring people to find the information for them. So, as one can see, access doesn't equal quality. And the access itself is an advantage, however, because there are still internet deserts in this country. And unfortunately, when it comes to Black diasporic immigrants, many of these folks end up in those internet deserts. And if and when they do make it to the library, again, that language barrier is there. For lack of a better term, being shy is there. When they get to the library and they might want to go on the public computers to access the internet, but approaching staff members and people that might be able to help them, just the vocabulary isn't there. And therefore, if and when they do get on the computers, they don't know what, again, the same kind of issues as the Korean immigrants have, where they don't have the relevant keywords, they don't have where they need to go, how they need to find what they need. And so it just leads to those dead ends and feeling of defeat. So where do folks in those situations find the information that they need because they know what they don't know, if that makes sense. They turn to the people closest to them. And when it comes to information models of these information seeking behaviors, Bystrom and Jarvlin, as well as the curriculus models, take into account that folks don't just go to a library and search through the stacks. When it comes to immigrant groups, those traditional visits just don't happen anymore. And that the information that they need and they want doesn't exist in a vacuum either. Both of these models take into account the people involved and how people talking to other people can absolutely be an information behavior, and how people find the information that they need. So again, the people part of the process is taken into account as far as those information models go, and I feel like those are probably the best models for how we can figure out how to best serve these immigrant communities. A library can be a source of information not only for those who are originally from this area. These immigrant people, these folks, they are our neighbors, they're our colleagues, they're the parents of our kids' friends, and we can do better. There are people literally being torn away from their families, and access to quality information is more important than ever and must be provided in an uncomplicated fashion. So, what we can do next is I think we can do a better job when it comes to transportation. We're a county or in a county in a small town, and doesn't have the kind of public transportation that a major urban area has. People, when they want to go places, and it comes to public transportation in this county, they call the county, and it's basically like a taxi service. But again, that barrier is there of language, of knowing that there is such a service to begin with. They're not going to be able to get to the library. So having a regular public transportation service to and from the library, to and from grocery stores, from doctor's offices, all these kind of things we can absolutely advocate for in a better way when it comes to speaking with our county officials. We can have things like, when it comes to programming at the library, we can have things like language mixers. We can provide opportunities for people to speak with others in their communities, as well as potentially being more educated better when it comes to our librarians being available that speak different languages common to the immigrants in the area. One thing we do a great job of is providing free internet access during our open hours, both on the public computers and through public Wi-Fi that people on their phones can connect to. So I hope that this presentation finds you all well. And I hope that this was able to give a better insight into the immigrant population in our communities. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.